Um, hey, welcome back to another episode of our Lokhir migrating to Karan campaign. Probably going to be a bit of a short episode today, but yeah, we'll try and make the most of it. So, doing what we love to do best with Dark Elves, which is invade Ulthuan and kill High Elves. So yeah, it's only turn 19, but we managed to migrate. So yeah, Lokhir actually starts on the other side of the world over here. We kind of abandoned that. We've confederated Karan, respect our main lords and black arcs over here, and now we're a force to be reckoned with in the oceans over here, in the Great Ocean. Well, that's a pretty unoriginal name. Anyway, yeah. So we're already into the central donut here, and we're trying to attack the coastal area as well. I'm trying to get a war Illyria over here. Lokhir,
Fellheart.
Not sure exactly where we left it. It might be just on the end of the turn. Oh yeah.
Lord of the Black Court.
So we've got some rebels spawned here.
A novel prospect.
Tyrant of Nagaroth.
I don't know how much we need the slaves. Probably don't really.
Death to all enemies.
Yeah, to Wolf, how you going, buddy? I'll grab the slaves. Why not? Hoping to get some Iceland teas today. Yeah, they said there was going to be more information today, didn't they?
Cruel dreadlord.
This one has their uses.
Alright, what's our public order? Hey, shop us hero.
Do you take me for a fool?
Next destruction. Dreadlord, awaiting command.
Just raise her loyalty to 10. And then we can disband her, so she'll still give us loyalty events while she's disbanded. Yeah, we're probably going to give up these territories at some point, because we're now at war with the northern provinces. So we've got a choice of either investing back into this area, raising armies and stuff, and then going after the western provinces. Sorry, northern provinces. We're not very far away. Or just cashing out, leaving. Wish we were able to pick the words of power instead of being RNG. Well, you sort of can, Aether Wolf. You can just respec your characters. So they've added a new, well, not new, but a while ago they added this button, reset all skill points. So basically what you do is when you get to level 10, you choose your name of power and see what you get. If you don't like it, you respec your character. They go out for 3 turns, then they come back after 3 turns. Then you can choose again. You get a new random name of power. You just keep doing it until you get the one you want, if it's that important to you. So yeah, I'm actually currently doing exactly that with all my masters, because I only like my masters to have Blood Scourge and Hydra Blood. So basically I just keep respecing them until they get the traits I want.
Aboard the Tower of Blessed Dread.
Master of Nagaroth.
My power is yours. My skills are yours.
Thanks, I used to save scum while doing that. Well, yeah, you can still save scum if you want, but if you're happy to just sort of casually do it throughout the course of the game, you know, I just kind of respec them in every few turns and then
Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
See how they go. How much slaves we got? 2.2k. Alright, so we got a fair few slaves to sacrifice. Get some money. Noska campaign next, so you can compare with Tides. Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing Noska next, maybe. Yeah, it could be good. I'm thinking actually about playing some Rogue Trader later on. I was going to bring back Merknir, this time as a heretic wolf priest from a death world. But in Rogue Trader, in 40k Merknir. Alright, we'll get the growth of the Black Arcs. Yeah, with the tech trees, like there's some really good techs in here. Like you know, like again, a controller is kind of handy. Getting casualties captured post battle is really nice, especially for smaller battles where you just want to get a bit more replenishment or whatever. But also just in general for getting more slaves. Growth you don't really need with Dark Elves. You get heaps of growth anyway through their dictats and stuff. This Uncharted Piracy I really like, 20% extra sack income. Yeah, those probably just that one mainly the sack income, and this one especially, the captives captured post battle. Like, but if you get both of those, that's an extra 8 turns before you get to your next level of growth for your Black Arcs. I mean, yeah, Lokhir does get extra Black Arc growth in his skill tree, and also in his with his other with his Black Arc, the Blessed Dread. But it's still nice to, you know, progress through there. Actually, no, I might take this first. Then we'll, yeah. I mean, these are the two kind of, well, this one especially, but both of these are kind of must-haves, I reckon. So I don't know. Sometimes I take them first. Sometimes I take one of these first. Sometimes I progress and try and get the growth in each, and you know, get these 3, then get the next growth, then these 3, then the next growth. You know, try and get as much growth as I can, and then at some point come back and grab these 2. But yeah. Also, if you're going to go for shades and stuff, obviously you want your crossbow stuff and whatever, what have you.
My malice. Dread Lord of the Druki.
Avacyn Hot Blood. There we go. And he doesn't have the characteristic Druki Reserve. Ferocious.
The weak die. Dread Lord of Nagaroth. Black-hearted Dreadlord.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. We could sacrifice more slaves, and we probably should, if we can. Any spots left? Clark. Oh yeah, I forgot about this joint. Actually, we're probably going to sell this to Malekith. Actually, no, we don't want to sell it to Malekith because otherwise we'll reset our. So we've given Malekith a fair few boosts already via region trading.
We have no cause to converse with Nagaroth.
Maybe we'll take out the ogres and then
Supreme
sell that
Sorceress
stuff.
of Grond. Calling the winds. Be ready. The time draws near. Supreme Sorceress of Grond.
A vile plan. Lord of the Black Court.
Supreme Sorceress of Grond.
I don't want to respec a Black Arc over here. We'll probably get another one before the respec comes through anyway, but...
Tyrant of Nagaroth. Murderous Lord.
Oh, wait one more turn. Hey, Raga, how you going, buddy?
There is nothing you can say, Asher. Your sires will spend their lives in my slave.
Wonder if oh, Tyrion didn't jump on board. Did you see Legend's video about YouTubers? Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was really nice of him. I got like instantly got like 50 new subscribers from that. So it was very nice of him. Yeah, I'll go for another Wrath of Kurnos. There's just the loyalty events that we're farming.
Lord of Fear.
You are without sense.
Yeah, I think we'll just like not even bother. Yeah, I think we'll just not even bother trying to hold this. I mean, it would be kind of nice to have this landmark, but not really that big of a deal. I mean, the +1 uses for all your Black Arc abilities is pretty sweet, but it's tier 5, so you know it's going to be a little while before we get it anyway. And we'd have to commit a lot of resources and a lot of mental energy to fighting off the northern provinces over here. And I really just don't care. That's the whole reason why I left. You know why I migrated, because I just don't really want to have to deal with Cathay and everything. Not that you couldn't, you know, like. I explained this in the last stream. Like, if you really want to have like you know, a more difficult campaign, then having 2 starts is great. If you really want to paint the map, like having 2 different starting off in 2 different places, like is great because you can spread out from 2 different areas, you know, so you can cover more ground faster. If you just want the game to be a bit harder or whatever, but if you want a like enjoyable experience, for me anyway, I find it much better when you have one location and you expand out from there. You know, like. It just makes the sort of story in your mind just make more sense, and just makes it more, I don't know, more of a narrative, I guess, or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't really like dual starts. So we'll grab a free item.
Vicious Dreadlord.
So yeah, so I'm just going to respec this lord out and take him back over the other side. And maybe I should sell out this one as well.
Such slaughter awaits.
Before we lose the hero capacity, we might just grab. Well, it looks like we might get a barracks here, so I might grab that. 13%.
It shall be done.
All right.
Supreme Sorceress of Grond.
I'll get a Highland to take to Savor. That way she can occupy it.
Cower before my might.
Can you explain the new DLC? Hey, Sir Hussein, the new DLC hasn't really been fully revealed yet, but the next DLC is going to be Slaanesh. They've announced that Slaanesh, and also Norska. They just did a teaser yesterday of Sail the Faithless, taking out some Norscan shamans. So yeah, basically, yeah, we know it's going to be Sail the Faithless. Presumably, he's going to be Norscan Lord, and Slaanesh, but we don't know who the third Lord's going to be yet. Although some people have been saying it's going to be Aislan the Sea Lord.
Chosen of Hecate. Traveling.
Admiral of Kar's fleet.
This is real military might.
Relics, come forth!
I kill for Cain.
Obey.
All right. So we're just going to take this. I'm going to occupy this.
Take their meager possessions.
And we're going to hope that they get a barracks. Yep, we've got a tier 2 barracks there, right? So we can now... Ah, crap, we've got way too much hero capacity. Oh, that's okay. We won't worry about it. These traits are not very good.
Sacrifices to Mathlan. There is no mercy.
We've got a defeat there.
unrestrained. I must think a while. No rest. What is your dark purpose?
This hero's slowing us down a little bit.
Sister of the dark.
We get rid of her. Then we can move these guys into range.
Black-hearted. My time, my talents.
Mathland's ring!
Alright. Oh, we can we can actually auto-resolve this, but everybody will die.
Raid, fight, plunder!
Cirrus! Supreme Sorceress of Grond.
Sacrifice them to Mathland! Kill them!
Mother of the Dark Convent.
My time, my talents.
Dark Cirrus.
Death to the land mongrels!
Spellcaster.
I really want to auto-resolve this, but I just can't. Otherwise, all my guys will die. Must be a way. God damn it.
Slaughter and enslave!
Yeah, High Elves DLC would be pretty cool.
Black Arts.
Sister of darkness.
She can steal some more technology.
Ah,
33%.
hear their scream.
3%, that's too
Sweet
bad.
destruction.
Did not succeed in this occasion. I could...
Ready my swords!
All-powerful sorcerer.
probably put more gear on these guys. Might help things. Mask.
The Kraken Lord fights!
What about if we... place it with level 4 Lord. I don't know if that's going to help us. It did help us. Fuck yeah, auto-resolve for the win.
The tower calls!
But game's a good game. Hey Lily.
Take everything!
Are they going to give a teaser for the High Elf Lord tonight? Hey Hussein. I think they said there's going to be more information today. I don't think they said specifically what it's going to be. Sorry, just doing a bit of a poll for Rogue Trader. There's a new Rogue Trader. We watched the Skulls event last night. There's a new Rogue Trader game coming out. What's called? I think it's called Dark Heresy, and it's by Owlcat, the same guys that did Rogue Trader. It's like an Inquisitor game this time. Looks pretty cool. Looks like exactly the same as Rogue Trader pretty much, except for it's going to be fully voiced this time, which is going to be pretty huge for me. So yeah, that's kind of like made me a little bit more excited about Rogue Trader and maybe giving it another try. So I was thinking about playing a bit of that later on today. Can romance a Kroot in the Dark Heresy?
Hated landwalkers.
We've got shade production here, but I don't actually want that right now. Don't want the control either. Do want tier 2. What are your favorite factions in Warhammer 3? I don't know. Vampires, Dwarfs, Dark Elves, High Elves, Empire, Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Dwarfs. Update is coming out today in like 15 minutes, right? Did they announce the time of it already, Zrekla?
Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
Yeah, I can't remember whether they did or not. But maybe. If they do, then I will be playing it on stream in 15 minutes. And discussing it.
Lord of Fear.
Alright, let's take some of these, ogres down a peg.
Feel my power.
This is our sort of secondary lord.
Sorceress of the Dark
Oh,
Convent.
I forgot to do the Allegiance quest again. Fuck. That was the reason like why I stopped playing yesterday, because I was like, I keep forgetting these Allegiance points. My head's not in the game.
Fearless.
And then now I'm like,
Be
yeah,
ready.
getting the Allegiance points again.
Unequaled. Serious.
6 turns to rebuild. Jesus.
The buildings are crumbling.
You think Dark Elves need a remake? Or maybe like a rework? I don't think Dark Elves need a rework. Like, I think they're great as they are. They're really powerful, really fun, cool characters, awesome magic, you know, great units, fucking some of the best itemization, best items in the game. Like, they're a wicked faction. They're really fun to play as well. But at the same time, like, because they're one of my favorite factions, I'd love to see them get a rework and get some more extra stuff. You know, there's nothing about them that I really don't like apart from the loyalty system. I think the loyalty system needs a bit of a rework or something. That's the main thing that I think is sort of like unattractive about the Dark Elves is the loyalty system.
Unrestrained.
Limitless power.
We don't really need this lord,
Druki. Sorceress.
although
Noble of Nagaroth.
Next time.
maybe we do.
What violent delights.
All right, we'll
What
keep
do you
him
seek?
here for a second. To yeah, just gonna get them loyalty up to 10, and then I'm gonna this guy's pretty low level 5. They're still our highest level available lord, so we'll keep them in. They can keep
Supreme
leveling up next
Sorceress
turn.
of Grond.
Dreadlord of the Druki.
Malekith and Marathi could use some new unique mechanics, but that's true for most non-DLC lords. Yeah, agreed. Oh, Dragonimus is here. Hey, Dragonimus. Dragonimus just raided us on Twitch. Much appreciated, man. Thanks so much for all of your raids. You're awesome. There you go. You're gonna go check out Dragonimus on Twitch. Just put a shout out up for him. Came to see the new content. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'll if they release the if they release some more a new video or whatever, we'll chuck it up on screen and chat about it for a bit. I'm also thinking about playing some Rogue Trader later as well.
Lord of the Black Court.
All right. So I'm kind of invading on the inner part of the donut, but I want to
Misguided. Lord of the Black Court.
hit the outside as well.
Die! Death and carnage await. I want it all.
Unwise.
Black-hearted dreadlord.
I can't actually
Ridiculous.
retreat or anything, can I, if they attack me?
Tyrant of Nagaroth. Black-hearted dreadlord.
I might respect this guy as well. And just so we can pop a couple of black arcs on the inside of the donut. That would be nice.
Set the sails, dreadlord of Nagaroth. I admire your darkness. We have a deal. Druki Lord.
I admire your darkness. What?
Malevolent Lord.
Cruel.
Yeah, so this guy gives plus 20 post-battle captives, plus 40% sacking, and then also plus 60% post-battle loot, 10% captives, and 60% sacking. And then that also stacks with this guy that gives another 40% sacking. And this guy gives another 40% sacking. So that's 40, 40, 80,
Tyrant.
140, 180% increased sacking income if they're inside the radius. Unfortunately, not much is inside the radius at the moment. But yeah.
A vile plan. Dreadlord of the Druki.
Alright, we've got a rebellion brewing here.
Feared by all.
We have a Dreadlord.
Dreadlord, at your command.
Cruel and deadly.
Do not vex us further.
Some slaves there. Slaves there. Actually, yeah, we'll go slaves. Maybe I should sell this before it's too late.
Ashen hears all. Ashen will listen. Yes, yes. You are here. We are here. Yes. Speak then. Yes, yes. I shall. Yes.
Alright, so I'm just cashing out completely out of this area. So, like I said, just it's not optimal gameplay, but it's just because I don't want to have to worry about it, you know? I just want to have fun over in the western side. I don't want to care about the east, so I'm just going to basically abandon this joint. I was hoping we could live a peaceful life and keep it, but yeah, it's not to be. Look. Crap, should have got another, oh, that's alright. It'll work out. It'll all work out. Alright, we get one more sorceress.
Corruption of the violent. The people grow restless.
It's just tough. Disciplined. Discipline's okay. Kind of like tough.
Who seeks my malice?
Yeah, Tickless could do with a rework like Gelt for sure. Yeah, if anyone sees any videos dropping or anything, just let me know. Gelt is quite OP though, 1 cost Spirit Leech. I don't think Gelt can cast Spirit Leech. but yeah. In terms of his faction, yeah, he's got heaps of cool stuff. It's not really about him being overpowered though, it's just about it being really cool and fun. His mages can. Yeah, but like that seems like a weird thing to pick out of like all of the crazy shit that these mages can do. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, obviously you really like Spirit Leech, but that's cool. I'm not gonna make you feel bad about it. You're a Spirit Leech enjoyer. Be proud.
The people are displeased.
Yeah, but I know. I mean, I guess yeah, it just seems like a funny thing to pick out for me. Because like for me, like I think the most defining things about Gelt is like his spells all doing like double damage and him having like 400 plus winds of magic in his armies and stuff. And it's like, yeah, who cares about the cost of your spells? Just fucking spam orbital strikes and everything until the entire map's obliterated. Not quite literally, but it kind of feels like that.
Bring fire and terror.
Alright, got rebels there. And that should be handleable. Hopefully.
Call me Lord Fellheart. I am much more than a mere captain.
No, I'm not joining any more of your wars. Oh wow, I thought that Eltharion was going to be blocked off from me by Nakari, but apparently not. Rogue Trader is not bad at all, and I'm going to play it. Yeah, nice. I don't think I really need that. 2,000 gold and 1 loyalty, or 5,000 gold and -5 loyalty. I think we'll go for the -5. So this is the whole reason why we have these guys with high loyalty, so they can get these loyalty events and make us money and stuff. Hey Lipo, welcome.
Command me.
I don't know if we're going to be able to win this with this. Yeah, it's not quite enough juice.
Withdraw.
Friendship is more
Always
valuable
equal
than
power.
gold.
Cruelty and violence.
Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
Nothing, nothing yet. I'm keeping an eye on the Warhammer channel to see if anything pops up there.
Dreadlord.
Druki Lord.
Murderous Lord.
Fuck, I should have recruited a Lord here last turn, but I didn't think of it.
Supreme Sorceress of Bronze.
We've got a heap of low-level Lords here, so I might just... Cool. And replace with this guy.
High Beastmaster.
He's already got 10 loyalty. Replace him with this guy.
Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
Just keep swapping items back and forth until we get his loyalty up to 10. Beautiful. And this guy I don't want to use either.
High Beastmaster.
Are you going to have early access to the DLC again? Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, I usually do. But just shouldn't take these things for granted. They haven't told me when I'm getting it or anything yet. So, but yeah, I should do. And we've got 3 lords left. I like to keep a couple of them just in case. A couple of them spare in case I actually need them. So, yeah, I'll bring this guy in to actually use. And I'll leave the other couple there, just so that if I need an extra lord somewhere, it'll be, you know, they'll be available. Video is up. Okay, nice. Thanks for the heads up. Huh. Where is the video, Zerkla? I'm on the Total War channel. Oh yeah, there it is. Yep. Sorry, I was on the home and it didn't come up on the home. All right, so there's a new what's next video that's just come out. So it's like a dev chat where they're going to talk about what's coming up and stuff. Maybe some tidbits about the DLC. We'll chuck this on and watch it together. Oh yeah, if you want to watch it at your own pace, I'll just put a link in the chat here.
Hey folks, welcome back to What's Next. I'm Freeman, your head of community, and I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about what's coming in Tides of Torment, which releases later this summer. And I'm not doing this alone, of course. I'm joined by members of our development team who are here today to take you behind the curtain and talk to you a little bit about what it is we've got cooking. So let's start with some introductions, and of course we'll start with the person who probably needs the least introduction. Todor, tell the people about yourself.
So, my name is Todor, and I am the game director of the Warhammer 3 DLC. I've been doing that for the past several months. Before that, I was the game director of Total War Pharaoh. Previously, I worked on Total War Troy, and even before that, on the DLCs for Rome 2. And over here is...
Thank you, Toshe. My name is Tuyan. I am currently the art director and concept lead for the Warhammer DLC. Previously, I was the art director for Troy, Mythos, and Pharaoh.
And sitting to my right, we have...
And with a great passion for Total War and Warhammer, my name is Vasil, and I'm leading the Tides of Torment DLC, and I've previously spent some time dabbling in Pharaoh.
And in this What's Next episode, we're going to be very excited to talk about that next faction that we've revealed recently in the Skulls event. We'll get to that in a moment. But elsewhere, we're also going to be talking about some of the reworks that we've got going on. There's one we actually missed in our last video, so stick around. And we'll also be talking to Stoyan as well about some of the art of our game and how much work goes into bringing it to life. But Todor, let's give you the first question and the first honor, of course. Who is that next faction and next faction leader we're bringing to the game?
Thank you for the honor. The faction and the race both are very dear to my own heart because I'm a fan of those hardy people in the north that live right on the edge of the chaotic influence, the Norskans. Yes, we're adding a new legendary lord to the Norskans. His name is Sail the Faithless. He's a powerful spellcaster. Unlike the other legendary lords, he's not one to always lead from the front and try to proving his physical might and his prowess and his bravery. He is all about manipulating those around him and making sure that they believe he's their friend, after which he betrays them. And based on these treacheries, he builds and builds his power, ever growing. This, of course, leads to him slowly getting surrounded by enemies, but, you know, this is the price he had to pay.
He's gonna search for power all across the world in terms of be it chaos or not so much for himself. And he's gonna be a great spellcaster. He will possess 2 spell lores for the players to choose from, and that's gonna be a bit of an experimentation. It's gonna give him a lot of versatility as one of the most powerful spellcasters in the game.
Now, we mentioned as we were talking about Sail there, that there's a lot of manipulation in his realm, and we've had some elements of this with different gameplay factions that we've introduced in the past, such as the Changeling. How is it that it differs to that type of manipulation that we introduced there?
So Sail is quite different from the Changeling, as he's closer to an ordinary faction. Like, he's a Norscan, he can occupy settlements, he can also raise settlements and dedicate them to the various chaos gods. But there is a special feature you will use to plan, execute, and reap the rewards from your treacheries. Like, initially, we explored a kind of a more rework of how diplomacy system works, but this is kind of a dangerous thing to do to a live game, and this is why we opted for a specific feature to cover the betrayal part of Sail, which is the major part of him.
Diplomacy is a very prominent legacy feature. It's similar to treacherous waters that we try to navigate very cautiously, as it could bring a lot of fallback after it if something unfortunately breaks or changes too significantly. So we've worked around making sales betrayal feel natural for him, so it's represented properly as a treacherous person, and his flavor is felt by the players, but doesn't clash too far with the diplomatic system that's already within the game.
Well, we've got an awesome roster that's planned out for this faction. We're not going to talk about all of it today, but we can maybe give a sneak peek at some of the units that we've been working on. So, Vasil, talk us through some of these very headline units that we've got.
So where should we start? Well, clearly the expectations fall first on Sale. As we mentioned, he's going to be the great spellcaster, and he also is very familiar with a pal of his named the Night Maul. Night Maul is a very unique, very special looking creature. For those unfamiliar, it consists of a few of Sale's unfortunate sorcerer pals that got fused into one single entity. And in our interpretation of the Night Maul within the game, it's going to be an ability that Sale is going to be able to cast towards his unsuspecting and unfortunate targets. During the process of development, the Night Maul proved incredibly challenging in various technical aspects. So that was one of the more driving reasons for us to go towards that approach. But talking about how the Night Maul looks, I think that Stoyan can share a little bit more as well.
Yeah, the Night Maul is actually a very different looking creature compared to the rest of the roster. So we enjoyed a lot creating this thing, exploring all the Warhammer lore and trying to make it possible for the game, because of course, especially for the animation team, the challenge is multiplied by the extra limbs and mutations the character may have. And yeah, it was very fun to make it.
I'm guessing it's not something we can really mocap, is it?
No, not really. We tried to mocap it up, but it's difficult to keep all the people together, so it kind of feels natural, so we kind of gave it up.
Okay, so we've talked about the Night Maul. Then the roster, what else do we have on there?
Another addition to the Norscan roster is the Fimir Noble. It's an addition to the Fimir family, which we already have in Warhammer 3. And the Fimir are known to walk in the shadows, to use magic to their advantage, and to surprise their unsuspecting prey. And the Noble will be no different. He's going to benefit from that as well. And also, as a hero character, other Fimir present in the game will benefit from his presence in battle in various situations. So they can use him in conjunction with them, but also with other monsters and creatures in the Norscan roster.
Any more we want to talk about today?
Let me think a little bit about it. We can talk a little bit about the Chimera. So we're also adding a Chimera, the three-headed monster that I imagine it comes to no surprise to most, unfortunately. But it's a very vicious flying creature, versatile in combat, is going to be able to get in and out of battle very quickly. And its three heads will possess 3 different attacks that will also give it a little bit more zest in how it engages with other creatures and characters on the battlefield. And of course, there's going to be other secrets, but we're going to keep them for later.
And onto the Chimera, there is a little known biological fact that it has 4 heads, because its tail is also a head.
True.
That is absolutely right.
I'm a little disappointed, yes.
Okay, well, do make sure that you are, of course, subscribed and following us everywhere, because we do have more of this roster to reveal. But later, you know. Now, it's been some time since we've had the opportunity to update Norska, but when we go back to looking at one of these factions that haven't been updated in a while and brought in line with those new standards that we kind of have, what's the first type of thing that we look at for this faction?
So yeah, as you said, the Norskans have been in there for quite a while. We've been hearing people saying, just please update them. They're in need of love. And we've decided to give them this kind of love right now. There are 2 types of updates that we're making to the Norskans. One of those is related to their racial mechanics, but we're also doing some faction-specific ones. So in terms of racial mechanics, we're changing the way the Monsters Arcanum work. This is a favorite change of mine because it makes it kind of more relevant to what I'm doing in my campaign. We're also updating the way Chaos Gods Allegiance work, and also the dilemmas related to Confederation. We're a bit expanding them. In terms of faction-specific stuff, we are changing the way Seafang works for Wulfric. Seafang is his signature ship, and currently he is available in the game only as a battle ability, but we have extended his presence to the campaign map. So right now we're using Seafang will provide you with an easier means of transport, crossing vast distances from port to port, which will likely turn you into this ultimate raiding machine that we're going for, the flavor of Wulfric. And as for Throg, Sil?
Throg is an interesting case where he's the Troll King a little bit more on paper, at least as that's how we saw it in the current example. And as Todor mentioned, we've tried to push in the flavor for other Norse faction, not just Throg. So one of the factors that we looked through when we did these reworks is to make them feel distinct of each other. Wulfric, Throg, and Sail. Wulfric being more the marauding side, Sail the diplomatic manipulator, and Throg the monster king that expands his kingdom in destroying things around him. Basically, he's going to remain on his present position, but we've adjusted him with an additional mechanic that where he's going to be able to utilize his influence towards other monsters and trolls more in particular, and call their power, one might say, in order to aid him in battle and aid him in his further conquests. Another interesting addition that it's also worth saying is that we're adding a few more hunts within the Monsters Arcanum. So there's going to be more monsters to hunt, there's going to be more creatures to seek, and more rewards to reap.
And another tiny but significant update is that both Throg and Wulfric are getting an additional set of voice lines. Especially for Throg, it was important to convey the fact that as he is a troll that's being touched by chaos, he's also a more intelligent kind of troll. Perhaps the most intelligent troll in existence.
So a whole new VA has been recorded for these then?
Yeah. We saw that Wulfric and Throg were lacking VOs from the original game, as they're one of the more older factions within Warhammer. But also we've heard the comments about Throg's previous VOs, and we completely agree with it actually, and decided to redo completely Throg and update Wulfric to be brought in line with the current state of what Warhammer is today.
Okay, well, awesome. I'm glad that you guys have had the opportunity to do that. I know it's something that you guys have been asking for quite a lot on the Reddits and the forums. In the last...
There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I'm just going to let it play through once, and then we'll go back through and pause it and stuff.
What's next video, we kind of forgot to talk about the Dakara and Slaanesh reworks that we're also trying to bring. So when it comes to Slaanesh, what are the things that we've looked to update there?
Slaanesh is an interesting case where they were represented just by Nkari currently, and we wanted to make the new faction in terms of the Kala and Nkari feel distinct from each other, but also supplement what Slaanesh does right now. And while it does it fairly well, we've updated a few systems to bring them more into up to speed with the current trends that we've used in other reworks. So that applies towards the technology trees. We've looked towards the proliferation of codes to make it a little bit more functionally usable in terms of their current strategies and what they aim to achieve right now on the map. And also we've looked how to improve and tweak some of the more controversial aspects of Slaaneshi benefits, for example, their replenishment, and also their usability in terms of battle and the stats there.
Okay, well, there you have it then. Sail and the Norska are our next faction that you can look forward to when this next DLC launches later this summer. Now, unless you've been living under a mangler squig, you probably saw the Skulls event very recently, and you may have spotted this first look at Sail. Take a look at this.
So that was apparently Sail actually making the Nightmare out of the other out of the other shamans.
I mean, these trailers are just fantastic for us to watch.
Yeah.
Break it down for us, though, Total. What have we actually seen in that trailer?
So we saw the first significant moment of Sail's rise to power, and also a treachery. Because what happened in this particular case is that Sail was a part of a conclave of magicians, and they're conducting a special ritual. Unaware that Sail has, fiddled around with it for a bit, so it backfires the ritual because of Sail's treachery. And what happens is that the leader of the magicians, called Shalkane, and probably I'm butchering the name, I don't know, he is blown up to bits, only his teeth remain, and they become a battle ability for Sail further on, whereas the other three spellcasters are fused into this hideous blob of moving flesh, a specific kind of spawn that is called the Nightmare. And yeah, this is something that you will see Sail use in battles.
Now, these things, I mean, there's so much work that goes into creating them. When we start to concept them, Stoyan, how long does it take for us to get from that point to the finish line where they're looking as cool as we saw in Skulls?
Well, it's a quite long process, and actually everything starts with the brief from the game design team. We collect all the information we need, the research for Warhammer lore, and gathering miniature references, if there is any. After we collect all the information we need, the concept team start with a rough sketch representing the main visual features of the character. After the sketch is approved, we continue with the actual concept, where we create more detailed and accurate version of the character, including multiple view angles, material guides, stuff like that. And after that, the concept is actually ready to proceed with the modeling part, where we create the geometry and texture and materials for the in-game model. After that part, the character continues his journey to the skinning, rigging, animations, and VFX. So it's a quite long process. A lot of teams are involved, and yeah, it's a great team effort in general.
Now, one of the great privileges that we always have with these What's Next videos is the opportunity to talk about the craft of making a video game, because it's something that we love doing, but it's never easy. And I mean, that's always going to be true of art as well, isn't it, Stoyan? Like, what are the challenges that you bump into when you're trying to create something as immersive and diverse as the world that we have in Warhammer?
Well, I think the main challenge always is to keep the fine balance between multiple requirements, one of which is to keep all the assets true to the Warhammer lore and sources, in the same time to fit the already established visual style and technical requirements for the game, to be capable of performing all the actions and abilities which are required by the game design, and in the same time looks cool. So yeah, all these things are kind of difficult to balance in some cases with some characters.
And already this DLC that we're creating now, it's taking shape, and it's stuff that we are really enjoying having a look at and playing with already. But when you guys are playing the builds that you have today, what are the things that are really making you smile and say, I can't wait for players to actually get hands-on with this?
Well, from my perspective, one of the things that really inspires me is the fact that I, as a Total War player, am one of the first to experience the entire thing of playing a campaign with Sail and seeing how his features have come together so that a particular type of experience can be achieved, and also then providing input on that experience. But if we're talking specifically about art, I love the battle animations of units. So what I do on most of my battles in the very beginning, before I've hit the start battle button, I just arrange my units and I do a pass over with the camera right by them to see how they roar or, sharpen their weapons or whatever. This is something that I love, not only for Warhammer, but for any Total War game that I've played.
it's actually one of my favorite aspects as well, to see something brought to life from a sketch that we've all worked to bring into existence, and then with the progression of how it appears without maybe the textures or maybe without animations, and then the animations appear. And because for us in game design we're focused over multiple aspects of the project itself, we're not always keeping in touch with the latest development, and it's occasionally brings a smile for me too when I'm doing testing of a feature or something else, to see a new animation added and it's something incredible, something great. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And that's one of my favorite processes of this job actually as a whole.
There is literally a kind of magic in there, because for some of the units, what you know in the beginning is just a brief paragraph of text, and then months later you see the unit in the game, and you say, oh my God, it's alive. This is what it is.
It looks awesome. It's always a great feeling at the end.
And we're obviously so blessed as well, because there is so much creativity in our community and from our players. When we see art come from them, whether it's their own creations, whether it's mods, whether it's just tiny tweaks on what we've got, like, what is it that you see in our audience that inspires you, Stoyan?
Yeah, for me as an artist, it's always inspiring and interesting to see other artist representation of Warhammer units and characters, especially ones which don't have actual models, references. So in such cases, without such specific reference, it's very important for the artist to have great imagination and deep lore knowledge to be able to create this character in the best possible way. So I think that especially for the concept design, the imagination is very valuable trait, and I suggest to all aspiring artists to try to always create something new and different, not always everything else which is already there.
Now we have 6.2 on the horizon. There's going to be things that we still want to do before we get to update 7.0, but Total, what are those things?
So, as you mentioned, 6.2 right around the corner somewhere. In 6.2 we will be updating ancillaries in general in the game, their effects, their trigger conditions. We'll likely be adding some new ones. We will be trying to find the balance between making those ancillaries that are perceived as, not as useful, making them more powerful, more prominent, but still retain the ones that are fan favorites, their unique status. This update to the ancillaries, we have been thinking about it for quite a while, and we've decided that now is the proper time to release it. And earlier in the year, we released 6.1, which brought about a significant update to Kislevite factions, to the gameplay of Kairos with a few additional units for Cathay. And we're really happy with it, because this was our way to address player feedback related back to the release of Shadows of Change, because these were the factions from the Shadows of Change. One thing that we did find out is that it took a significant effort to plan it, design it, develop it, test it, and then release it. So the next patches will be focused on some specific bits in the game. Of course, the ancillary system is something that is quite far-reaching, but it is one of the features. And these are our plans in general for the future patches, to focus on specific aspects of the game itself. One thing that we are doing in addition to the patches and the hotfixes, which are still recurring, is the Proving Grounds. The Proving Grounds are this special kind of an arena where you can play a version of the game with some fixes and some changes in there, and you can give us your feedback. And this is the proper moment to thank our community for providing us with feedback on the campaign AI changes that we have done so far. Our main goal was to make the campaign AI more active, more challenging, so that you kind of meet some resistance in the later stages of your campaign. This makes it more engaging, more interesting. And it was really amazing to go through the feedback of the people playing actual playthroughs and telling us how things happened with them, telling their story. This is one of the challenges that we're facing, because a total war game, if you have to experience its entire campaign in actual environment, it takes a lot of time to complete. We don't have enough people over here to do sufficient amount of playthroughs for the Immortal Empires, where you can have, and you already have, more than 100 playable factions. Of course, the dev people are playing it, and our QA team, God bless the QA team, are playing the game too, and we're taking their feedback into account. But the Proving Grounds are a really priceless source of feedback. So please join them. Please give us your feedback. We'll take it into account. And we plan to do some more in this year, again, related to various aspects of the game, where such changes which will benefit the most from a lot of people playing them.
Okay, well, that's probably just about all the time that we've got for this particular What's Next video. Of course, our thanks to Todor, to Stoyanov, and to Vasil for joining me today to talk through all of these changes. But there you have it. Sale is our next legendary lord leading the forces of Norska. And of course, he's joining Dakala, who's marshalling the forces of Slaanesh. There's still one more legendary lord for us to reveal, which we'll be doing in the next What's Next video, which we should have for you next month. In the meantime, do make sure you drop down to the comments below. Let us know what you think. What have you enjoyed hearing about today from the team? What's got you super excited for what's coming next in Warhammer 3? For now, we will say our goodbyes, but do make sure you head over to totalwar.com. You'll find all of our socials linked from there, and of course, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because we'll have plenty more to show you on this DLC in the near future. For now, we'll say our goodbyes. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, folks.
Bye. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should have actually just paused it during, like, I wanted to let the video play through to let them like say their piece and everything, rather than just, constantly interrupting, especially if a lot of you guys had like not already watched it. But yeah, there's a heap of stuff in there like that I wanted to talk about. A lot of information. But yeah, I'm feeling like now it's going to be hard for me to kind of go through and find it all, but so I don't know, maybe I should go backwards. I guess like the last thing like Todor here was talking about was the update. So before the DLC comes out, the next update's going to be 6.2. They said they're going to be working on ancillaries. Yeah, I feel like ancillaries is definitely is one of my favorite areas. Like, it's one of my favorite little like niche things about the game, I guess, that basically you have these different followers that you can get awarded throughout the game, and there's different triggers that basically allow you to get those different ancillaries. If you haven't seen it before, there's a guide called Specific with a P-E-C-E-I-F-I-C, Specific's Ultimate Ancillary Guide, and it tells you every single ancillary in the game for every single race, how to get that ancillary and what it does. And it's really cool, like for some of the factions, because a lot of the factions have really cool ancillaries that you can stack them up, and they're like quite powerful, and you can sort of farm them and stuff. And so yeah, so I thought it was good that he said same thing that they said about the items, that they were going to do itemization rework last time as well. They haven't got to that yet, I don't think. But basically saying, they want to kind of go back and rework a lot of the ancillaries, but they still want to keep the fan favorite, like really cool ancillaries, I can send you a link to the ancillary guide for sure. Yeah, I was just thinking about that, like just that, like one of the cool things about ancillaries, I think, are when you can actually farm the ancillaries that you want. Thanks, Sam. So like some races have really good ancillaries and ones that you can farm. Some ancillaries have all just shit ancillaries. You don't care about any of the ancillaries. Some factions have some good ones and some bad ones or whatever, but they don't really have any that you can farm. Like, you just kind of get them randomly, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Like, a lot of factions have good ancillaries that have like a 1% chance to drop every time your lord attacks an enemy, and it's like, well, I'm gonna attack enemies constantly throughout the game anyway. There's nothing I can really do about that to change it or anything, you know what I mean? But there's other ones that are like, you'll get this ancillary if you sack an empire region or sack an empire settlement or something. So you can kind of go out of your way to just sack empire settlements over and over again to farm that particular ancillary, and I find that really engaging. Like, it's almost like a mini game. Like, I've been talking about this a bit lately, but like one of the things I think that really improves the game is if the faction that you're playing has like a secondary mechanic beyond conquest that you're also trying to work towards or unlock stuff or whatever. And when you have like this sort of secondary or even more, tertiary, 2, 3, 4 extra objectives as well as conquest, like, it kind of just makes the game feel more full. We kind of trying to work out, trying to build up lots of different stuff. So anyway, I was just thinking, like, yeah, I hope that they hope they work on that as well. Like you want good ancillaries. You want ancillaries that are cool, that do powerful stuff. You don't really want a bunch of ancillaries that are just shit that you don't care about, which is a lot of them, you know, like a lot of the ancillaries don't really matter. You know, like there's one that gives you there's one the Empire's got that gives you like 1% increased income in the local region, but only lords can equip it. So, but lords, every time you recruit a new lord, you get more supply line penalty. So your economy gets worse and worse. So what's the point of having a lord that gives you 1% increased income if the lord himself is giving you minus 4% income, you know, or plus 4% to your upkeep for your armies? So, you know, so there's a lot of ancillaries like that that are just shit, right? You can just get rid of them or change them to make them good. But I guess what the point I wanted to make was like, it's not just the ancillaries being good and how likely it is to get it. It's also the actual game of getting the ancillaries. Like some ancillaries you can actually go out of your way to do specific things to try to farm them, and like knowing that basically by looking it up on Specifics Ultimate Ancillary Guide and doing that can give you like a little mini game to enhance your campaign. So anyway, that was just a thought that I had about that. The AI changes, they're talking a bit about the last beta, the proving grounds. I hope they keep doing the proving grounds. So, and yes, I want to talk about proving grounds as well. So they've done 2 proving grounds now to work on the campaign AI, and which firstly, I totally applaud the idea of the proving grounds and the fact that they're working on the campaign AI. I think that working on the campaign AI is you know, it's a bit of a thankless task. It's like a hard job. There's a lot of complexity to it, and people don't tend to really give them that much props for it with the work that they do on the AI, I don't think. And so it's so I feel like up until now it's been one of those things that they've just like, no, we're not going to really bother trying to work too much on the AI because, you know, it doesn't really have much bang for your buck. Like, people don't get excited about slight tweaks that might slightly improve the AI, you know. But with the campaign, with the AI proving grounds, I think they've done a good job of you know, first taking on the challenge, working on that, also putting a spotlight on it, you know, like in a good way. Like I think it's been like I think people have been interested in the campaign AI beta or beta, whether or not you've actually taken part in it, but I think people have at least been interested in what's going on. Is the beta any better? Was there anything good from it? You know, like, so it's sort of it's a bit of a PR exercise in a way of like getting people like interested in it in the right way, I guess, like, because people are always going to like find an example of the AI doing something stupid and make a meme out of it, and then we can all be entertained about that specific example of the AI being stupid in that, you know. But that's not necessarily like the most productive or constructive way to look at it, you know, like, because like a lot of times, like, the AI might be good or bad in a certain area, but it's like, it's not just in the one instance, it's like how that affects every single, it's the same AI in every game, right? How that affects every game, every interaction, every army, like in hundreds and thousands of different iterations, you know. And like, that's the important thing. Like, is the AI usually most of the time functioning the way that you want it to be, as challenging as you want it to be, as, you know, as whatever qualities you want the AI to have? Whereas, like, you know, from a sort of marketing or PR point of view, what really gets the most attention usually is the sort of meme shit, you know, where you can point at the AI doing something stupid, like, oh, here's the AI with like 10 armies camped around its settlement, or here's the AI doing something stupid, you know what I mean? And it's like, in a lot of times that is actually spotlighting a really important issue that really needs to be focused on, but a lot of times it's not necessarily, you know, or the meme of that specific instance is not really the core of what the issue is. So anyway, I think like with the beta, like, it's been kind of nice because they've been able to kind of lay out what they're trying to do with the campaign AI. We've been able to then play with that, kind of decide whether we think it's actually working the way it's intended or what we've seen from the beta AI. And then, you know, and then afterwards with the last beta AI, they came back and sort of gave a summary of what their findings were, or what they took from it, what they were going to try and improve from it. So I feel like that whole concept, that whole thing of the beta is like good, you know, I guess basically just good, like not specifically about any specific changes, but just the whole concept of working on it, putting it right out there in the public, making it a big publicly available beta, talking about what they're trying to achieve with the beta clearly, and then getting that feedback, and then talking about what they took from the feedback. You know, I think that whole cycle is awesome. But one thing I think, like, one suggestion, or one thing that I was thinking that maybe they need to also work on with that is like more promotion of the beta AI. Like, so like, so the beta, when they run a public beta, right, that's an opportunity for us to get involved and help them test the game, right? Basically, we get to work for Creative Assembly and do their testing for them. As Turtle said, they just literally don't have enough people to be able to play the game enough to be able to get as much feedback as they really need on these changes. You know, they've got a QA department. There's like a few dudes there playing campaigns, but you know, those dudes only have one life to live. They can only play so many fucking campaigns, right? And if you're going to play like 100 turns plus campaign, it's going to take you quite a while. So it's just, you know, so what you need is like thousands of players all playing campaigns, you know, so you can get that feedback. So that's what the beta is all about. But and that's all cool, like, you know, but we don't work for Creative Assembly, right? We don't get paid to do their testing for them. And, you know, we, not necessarily me, but like we as a community don't necessarily give a shit about helping Creative Assembly do their quality assurance. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, a lot of us do, you know, like, but I'm saying it's, on the one hand, it's a quality assurance thing, like of us basically helping them do their QA. But on the other hand, it's new content, right? When a new beta comes out, for me, I see it as new content. It's like a new version of the game that I can try out, that I can explore, you know, and it's fun for me to try out this new thing. And so yeah, so I just feel like it'd be a good idea for Creative Assembly to kind of think of the betas more as content as well. So continue to think of it as a tool that they're using to get information and a QA tool, right? But also understand that it's also new content for us players, and that like I think it'd be a good idea to sell that new content to us, to promote it, to maybe not do like a trailer for the beta, but do you know what I mean? Act like the campaign AI beta is a content release, because it's a new content release, right? And it's a new thing that we can all get excited about for a couple of weeks. We can all play and everything, and it's fun, you know. The thing, I try to promote the betas because I really enjoy interacting with them, and I think they're fun. But like, I feel like Creative Assembly could also try and promote them a bit more as well, you know, and not just in terms of advertising, but also in terms of like just the way that they, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like when they do a DLC, right, they'll be like releasing some units, you know, but there'll be like some, you know, there'll be a new type of infantry that's got some spears or some shit. There'll be a new type of whatever, but there'll be like a big monster that's like the big monster that's the selling point of the whole DLC, that you're trying to like you want to get people excited about the DLC with, you know what I mean? Like, so when they're creating that content, they're also thinking about how they're going to market this content and what sort of content would be extra marketable and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I'm basically saying, like, when they do the beta, I think that they should like think about what information that they need back from the beta, what QA information they're trying to get tested, but also think about the player experience and what, you know, what's entertaining to us about playing in the beta, so that they can like hype up those aspects, you know what I mean? Like, just say, I don't know, just say they were going to do a beta where they increase the AI aggressiveness or whatever, you know, like, I think previously they were like trying to be a little bit cautious, that they want the beta to seem good, you know, which is good idea, you know, and they don't want to overdo it, you know, so they want to just do slight little changes, you know, but like because it's a beta, it's not the live game, I don't think they need to be quite so safe as that. So just say they could say, right, next beta we're going to do a beta about AI aggressiveness, right? And in order to test out all these aggressiveness changes, we're going to crank the AI aggressiveness up to 300%. It's going to be the most crazy AI apocalypse fucking ever, and blah blah, you know, or whatever, you know. And then, do you know what I mean? And then that creates like a sort of a little story, and it's like, oh, this beta's going to be a crazy beta, everyone should check it out, you know, get a bit of a buzz going about it or whatever. I'm not saying that specifically thing would be necessarily a good idea, but hopefully I kind of explain what I'm trying to say. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think they could market the betas a little bit better, and actually kind of think about what kind of experience the beta is offering, not just as a testing tool, but also as a limited time, once in a lifetime event. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't take part in the last beta AI, you'll never know what that was like. If you didn't take part in the first beta AI, you'll never know what that was like. You know what I mean? Like, it's over now. They've deleted it from Steam. You can't play it. The version of the game doesn't exist anymore, you know? So yeah, so I think, like, yeah, I feel like they could definitely like promote it more, basically promote it more as like a more of an event. But yeah, I don't know. That was just a thought I had about that. A very long rambling thought. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's so much stuff that Toto was talking about that I wanted to comment on. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to like remember everything, but yeah. What else did they talk about? Excuse me. Hey, Anonymous. Promote me? Cheers. It is like a limited event, exactly, so yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, it was cool hearing about Stoyan, was that his name? About his stuff about the art and everything. Yeah, not really my area. Yeah, like Sail the Faithless, this model looks amazing. How cool is that? Like his tentacle arm, like his armor looks amazing. They said he's going to have 2 different schools of magic, and they're going to choose. You're going to choose. That was really weird. Hey, One Pitch Man. One Pitch Man just rated us on Twitch. Welcome, man. Give you a shout out. Yeah, they said that you're gonna have 2. Sail's gonna have 2 different laws of magic, and you're gonna get to choose which one, which they said is going to be a bit of an experiment, a bit different. So I thought that was interesting. Like, so when they first said that he was going to have 2 different laws of magic, I kind of thought like it would just be like a merged one. You know how like the Cathay Lords and stuff, they have like kind of like a couple of laws of magic kind of merged together or whatever. But no, it sounds like he's going to sort of choose. I'm sort of wondering if it's something similar to like Kairos's. You know how Kairos has got his like. How Kairos has got his like 8 different spells he can choose and like switches. Hey, Gaijin, yeah, you think great minds think alike. Gaijin Yami just said the exact same thing. Yeah, maybe they're going to have some sort of thing where he can mix and match some spells or craft his own spells or whatever. Is he supposed to be a legendary lord or hero? Yeah, he's a legendary lord, Sam. Yeah, he's going to be a legendary lord for Norsca. Or like Manfred where he has 2 spell trees. No, but they said he's going to choose. He's going to choose the lore, and they said it's going to be something a little bit different from what they've done before. So, yeah, so I thought that would be interesting. Yeah, Sail the Faithless is going to be the legendary lord for Norsca. That's pretty clear. So Dekala is the legendary lord for Slanesh, and that Sail is the legendary lord for Norsca. Yeah, they did say that the Nightmare is going to be a summon. So yeah, I don't know if somebody said the Nightmare would be the legendary hero. But they said also that the Nightmare is going to be like a spell that he casts, basically, not actually like a unit. Even though it does have a model and stuff. So I don't know if it's a summon or it's like actually a spell where he just casts it and it comes out and like kills some dudes and then disappears again or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I hope that that's not the legendary hero, not the Nightmare. And they're just, even though it's just a spell and not actually a unit, you know, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. They said that the Shaman's Teeth are going to be one of his special magical abilities. One of his magic items. Shalkain's Teeth. Excuse me. I hope that Norsca gets a proper overhaul. Oh yeah, they talked about so they talked about the changes with Norsca. They basically just said that, I think basically all they said really about the Norsca rework was that Norsca was getting a few extra monster hunts in their monster hunt system. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I feel like they could use more than that for sure. I mean, getting a few more monsters in the monster hunt would mean that they would have you get more influence, because I think every time you do a monster hunt you get like, I don't know, do you get like 6 influence in each different god or something? I can't remember how it works now. But yeah, so I guess if there's more of them, that means there's more ways to get your influence up using your monster hunts. They need a proper economy outside of ports. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I mean, for the AI, maybe they do, but for the player, I kind of feel like I kind of liked how I liked it before, kind of how they didn't really have any economy. Like, I feel like that's how Norsca should be. Like, Norsca should be poor, and they should have to sack and raid to get their money, you know. But I don't think the AI can really handle it. So yeah, so I don't know, maybe they need to just make the AI like get extra money or something to make up for them not being able to sack properly or whatever. All I want is unit recruitment based on the god of allegiance, and also only dedicate to one god. Yeah, it'd be good if you could dedicate to I mean, it'd be good if you could get some more like units relevant to the god. Like, I mean, that'd be pretty easy if they wanted to just do a cheap version. Just give them like Khorne Marauders and Nurgle Marauders and stuff like that. And maybe if you go all the way to the top, give them some mid tier or high tier. You know, I don't know, like, you know, you could give them like Wrathmongers if they max out Khorne, and give them like Zeech Aspiring Champions if they get to max out with Zeech or whatever. You know, some more like, but I think I'd probably prefer more of a mid tier or lower tier option. Like maybe just like Khorne Chaos Warriors could be like the reward that you get for like maxing out Khorne or something. That you can recruit them, or get the ability to upgrade your Marauders into Chaos Warriors or something. But I don't know. I think they're trying to make Norsca have more of a distinct, I guess, a bit of a distinct, separate identity, separate from Chaos. But yeah, the changes to Wulfric sound really cool. So he's going to get the Sea Fang is going to be kind of upgraded and expanded. So instead of just being an in-battle ability, I wonder if they're actually going to take away his in-battle ability. Because I always thought that the Sea Fang ability in battle was a bit weird for Wulfric. Like, why does he summon a boat and make the boat like run over people like on land? It's just, I don't know. It just seems really weird. I mean, I don't know Wulfric's lore well, but as I understood it, the Sea Fang was like an actual boat that you go into in the water, and then you sail the boat off, and then the boat kind of teleports to other places, like in the world. But it's not like you don't like cast. Wulfric doesn't cast boat at people, you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking weird. It'd be kind of cool if they got rid of that entirely, I think. But I mean, it's kind of a waste because they already made it now, so I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like the ability. Like casting boat, I cast boat all the time when I'm playing Wulfric, and I love it. It smashes. It's a cool ability, but it doesn't really make any sense, and it seems sort of stupid when you think about it. But yeah, so anyway, so they're going to make it so that he can actually teleport around from port to port, it sounds like. And they said he's going to be like Todor said he's going to be like the ultimate raider. So there, that really appeals to me. Like, I really like the idea of playing, I really like playing Norsca this way, where you kind of go around just rampaging around to different locations, just capturing the settlements that you need to do their different technologies, and then, you know, you just unlock all the different technologies. It's a very like old school sort of style of faction mechanic that the Norsca has, that basically that they only had like a small number of systems at that time, and one of them was the tech tree. So they're like, all right, how can we use the tech tree in a different way? We'll make it so that you can unlock these different techs when you take over, you know. And it's like pretty cool, like use of those existing things. But, you know, if you made a new faction now, you wouldn't give them such a, you know, like it'd be more of a special bespoke mechanic built for them, you know. But anyway, but I really like it, you know. It's cool mechanic. So yeah, so hopefully he'll be able to like teleport around and build those different ones. He'll be like the real king of hero stealing if he can teleport over to Naggaroth and take that over really early. I think they might move Wulfric to Skeggy. Notice how he said that Throg will be staying? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did notice that actually, these Reclair. Yeah, he said no, Throg will be staying where he is, but they didn't say that about Wulfric. That's right. Excuse me. Yeah, if they put him down in Skeggy, that'd be cool. Maybe he'll get a camp boat like the vampire counts. Yeah, I think that'd be really good if they gave him a camp boat. Another thing that I've been asking for a few years actually is that they give Norsca the ability to attack settlements from the ocean the same way that Black Arcs can. I feel like, you know, the Norscan raiding, the like Norscan raiders kind of thing is a cool aspect of their, I guess, personality or whatever. Yeah, like cool Vikings basically. Yeah. It'd be cool if they could do the Viking thing a little bit and just go around like sacking coastal settlements and being terrors or whatever. Although I don't know, I haven't really actually read that much about them actually doing that sort of stuff that much. But I'm pretty sure some of the tribes do that sort of stuff. if they put him in Skeggy, he would be stuck between like 4 other legendary lords. That part's kind of saturated already. Yeah, I don't know. Also, it's weird if they put him in Skeggy because Skeggy's already got Lost Ericsson. So yeah, it'd be kind of weird if they put him there, I reckon. But yeah, I don't know. But I suppose he could be anywhere. He could be like visiting Lost Ericsson or something or whatever. Or actually, is Lost Ericsson from the current timeline or is he like from ages ago? Anyway, yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, they said they're going to redo the voice lines for Throg, so I imagine they're going to completely get rid of all that bestial roaring and shit from Throg, and he's going to be like, a Professor Throg now, like just like putting his spectacles down and like commenting on things. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. They said some other stuff about how Throg's going to be able to influence other monsters and stuff. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. I don't know. I don't really like Throg as a character that much. Yeah, I'm not really that interested really. I think Sail and Wolfric are still going to be my favorite factions. They said how they'd forgotten to talk about Slaanesh rework, and they were going to talk about the Slaanesh rework, but then I felt like they didn't really say anything about the Slaanesh rework. All that they said is basically what they had already said previously, that they're going to try and make Dakala and Nakari different from each other, which they basically already said in the previous video, except they actually said more about it last time. They said that basically Nakari is more about like manipulating and seducing people, basically, and Dakala is more about like crushing and dominating people. They both go about seduction in their own different way, but Dakala is more about dominating and Nakari is more about seducing, I guess. But yeah, I didn't feel like they really actually said. They said that, oh, we forgot to talk about it last time, and then I didn't feel like they really said anything about it this time either. So yeah, I don't know. Excuse me. What else do we want to talk about? Gonna be in Chimera for Norska. The Chimera was for Norska, wasn't it? Oh yeah, so the hero, they're gonna have a Fimir warrior hero. I don't know, I'm not really that excited about the Fimir warrior hero, I gotta say, like, because they've already got a Fimir spellcaster hero. Now there's gonna be a Fimir warrior hero. I don't know, so I feel like it's just another Fimir, and like it's just a slightly tougher Fimir. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the abilities they're gonna have, but I guess yeah, it's again like, okay, so I guess my problem with the whole monster focus of Norska is that like Fimir are cool and everything, but Fimir are like this weird little isolationist, secretive race. They're not like I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert in the lore, but like as far as I know, the Fimir are not like integrated with Norscan society. You know what I mean? Like they're like weird dudes that live in the fucking swamp or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you have like the Norscan chieftain, the Norscan shaman, and his council of fucking Fimir dudes. Like, so it's sort of like, I don't know. It's like, it's just weird. Like, you have a Norscan, you want to make a Norscan faction, but then you can't have any fucking Norscan characters in your army. Like, yeah, just that's annoying. Yeah, I kind of wanted them to make a Norscan warrior, like a barbarian berserker, some kind of berserker warrior kind of guy that is like, and an actual Norscan. Like, I don't really get why. Like, we already had a Fimir who's not a fucking Norscan, and now there's another fucking Fimir. It's like, how many fucking Fimir do we need? Like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so yes, in answer to your question, I am disappointed that they added a Fimir hero instead of a big buff Norscan warrior dude. I was really hoping for a big buff Norscan warrior dude. But oh well, what can you do? Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I mean, I'm sure he's going to be cool and everything. Fimir are cool. I just don't really think that I don't really think having an extra Fimir character really adds anything to the whole like Norscan-ness of Norska. It's more of a like yeah. I talk about this a little bit too, like but maybe I talk about this too much. But like, there's a lot of factions that have these kind of like little niche, super rare parts to them, like really obscure bits or whatever. And like obviously, like with it's like Creative Assembly is trying to like bring in new, like as much interesting and different things as they can to a faction. But like, I feel like this is an example of like where you bring in all these like niche, obscure things, and that's like not really the identity of the actual faction. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of diluting the identity of it, rather than like, yeah, rather than like enhancing it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, I think for me, I add a new dimension to Norsca. I like it more than just caveman type. Yeah, like I get that for me, add a new dimension. But I mean, they already had Fimir in there. They already had Fimir units. They already had a Fimir hero. Like why does Norsca, a race of predominantly caveman dudes, have like 2 different fucking Fimir heroes that are not even their race? Like, what the fuck's going on there? I don't know. It's weird. It's like, it's okay if you don't fucking like Norskins, then you're like, yeah, I want as many things that are not Norsca in Norsca as possible, so I don't have to put up with fucking Norskins because I fucking hate Norsca. But if you actually like Norsca, then it's kind of frustrating having all this shit that's like not Norsca stuck in there, you know? But anyway, maybe there'll be another Norscan DLC in the future with the Fimir Lord and a Norsca hero. There'll probably be another Norsca DLC in the future with a Fimir Lord and another Fimir hero. It's going to be the Fimir overlords that rule Norsca. We love sticks and violence, therefore I Ugo, therefore Booga. Indeed. Lawmaster of Sotek might be influencing CA more than we know. Yeah, I think Lawmaster of Sotek really likes Fimir and monstrous units and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, so obviously, you know, I'm not really a big fan of more Fimir. Like I don't mind them as an exotic little thing, but yeah, I was really hoping that we were going to get a generic Norscan warrior hero. I feel like every race needs at minimum every race needs a generic warrior hero that represents that race's, like, you know, quintessential warrior or whatever. And I feel like, yeah, Norsca kind of got fucked on that. They don't have that, unfortunately. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, Fimir are like a very specific niche part of Norsca, I feel like. And the Skin Wolves kind of as well. Like the Skin Wolves are cool. Like they're part of the Norscan experience and everything, but they're not like mainstream, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I feel like we're missing like the mainstream part of Norsca a little bit. But, you know, whatever, it's cool. But yeah, but having said all that, I do really like Norsca, and I'm really glad that Norsca's getting a DLC. And, you know, not everyone is going to like every single part of it, so, you know, that's cool. It is what it is. What about the Nightmare? Some animations, early animations represented there. Oh yeah, they're talking about Sail the Faithless. Sail the Faithless. So Sail the Faithless is going to have some sort of mechanic where he's going to betray people. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. And Vasil, I think this guy's name is Vasil. Sorry if I got your names wrong, guys. I think it's Todor, Stoyan, and Vasil. They're talking about how you know, they didn't want to go back and basically mess with the diplomacy system. They want Sail to be able to like betray people and stuff, but they don't want that to like mess with the entire diplomacy system of the game or whatever. So it sounded like they made a bespoke faction mechanic for him where he can betray people. So it'll be interesting. I hope it's not like Tretch where he got bonuses for ruining your reliability in Warhammer 2. Yeah, I doubt that. That was my first thought as well. That basically it'll be like you just go into diplomacy, make an agreement with somebody, and then just cancel it, and then you have 10 turns of bad cancel in less than 10 turns, and then your reliability's fucked, and that somehow powers you up as Sail. But yeah, I think they made it clear that that's not what they're doing. They said specifically they don't want to change the diplomacy system around too much, so they made it like a bespoke faction mechanic for him. So yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe it'll be it might be something a bit more like Goldfag's kind of thing, where you can like choose. There's like 3 different dudes, and you can choose which one you want to do a scheme to betray or whatever. And so you choose like Throg, and then Throg becomes your ally, and you can do a bunch of stuff, and you get different advantages from him being your ally or whatever. And the more you build up the points of him being your ally, the more delicious the betrayal will be at the end or whatever. And then at a certain point you cash it in, and depending on how many like points of alliance you've gotten when you betray him. Eventually, you get more bonuses or something like that. So it might be, you know, it might be something like that. It sounds like it's going to be some sort of special mechanic that they built, not just diplomacy, you know. But they did say that, you know, you'll end up like everyone will end up hating you. So, so I'm guessing when you actually finally pull the plug on it or whatever, then, you know, then they get they end up at war with you afterwards. They did say that they're not. They did say they're not changing the way that you. They did say that Sail is a normal faction, not like the Changeling, and that you can still occupy settlements. You can still sacrifice settlements to get favor with the different Chaos Gods. So indirectly, that also confirms that they're keeping the same system, at least in its basic form. Hey, Jonathan Lamb. Crazy $100 super chat, man, you're awesome. A great stream. I hope they make changes to ally coordination, since the AI will try harder to attack the target. Yeah, I've had some good luck with the AI attacking targets that I tell it to attack, but also I've had the AI just completely fucking not give a shit when I tell it to attack stuff and just go away. Like I wish I understood how that system works better. Or you know, or like you say, sometimes I think it's not just like you want the system, you want them to attack what you want, like, or try harder to attack what you want, but you also want to understand how the AI makes its decisions. Like if I knew that, you know, if I tell the AI to attack that thing, it'll attack that thing because it's got no other targets and it's not distracted by anything, and therefore it's likely to do its thing, you know. And if I also knew that, you know, the AI is like, army is too small and it's gonna be telling its army to go home and recruit more units. So even if you tell it to attack something, the chances of it actually doing it are low because it's gonna have more of a priority to go home, you know. Like I wish it was a bit more transparent. Like I think, you know, like one, if they could get them to actually do what you tell them to do, that would be great. But if not, like if they don't do what you want them to do all the time, if it could at least be a bit more transparent and understandable so that you can then manipulate it more or know when is a good time to give it orders or something like that. Anyway, broadly I agree, Jonathan, and thanks so much for the fucking massive super chat, man. You're a legend. Appreciate it, man. You're well, yeah, you're a hero. I'll put you on the list of glorious champions. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, you blow me away, Jonathan. Thank you, man. Awesome. That would be good. And it's really good being able to, like, I've been playing a lot of campaigns recently where I've been, Jonathan broke Mercy's speech for a minute. Yeah, no, he always like comes and like fucks me up with these massive super chats. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of borrowing armies campaigns lately, and like utilizing allegiance points to order my allies to do stuff and everything. And yeah, so I have noticed that, like one time I was like trying to bring a faction that was really far away, but bring them into the theater of war, like into the Empire where I was attacking. And so I like took over a settlement, and then I released the army that I'd brought with me of theirs. I released it back to them, and then I ordered it to attack the settlement that it was right next to, that I just sacked, that had no garrison, and it just ignored it and fucked off, you know? Whereas another time when I tried to do the same thing, you know, it was like, yeah, sweet, we'll take it. And they just took it immediately. And I reckon it might have been, like I said, because the time when it didn't do it, it was because the army was empty. It didn't have any troops. So even though I wanted it to attack the settlement that it was right next to, it was like, oh no, our army's weak. I need to go all the way back home over the other side of the water and, you know, recruit new troops. So yeah, but I don't know, because it's not very transparent. Like the game doesn't really tell you what's going on there. So yeah, I mean, I guess alternatively, someone like me could figure out how it works and then make a video explaining it, and that would make it more transparent. But yeah, at the moment I don't really know. Yeah, so Sal's gonna have two spell laws for the player to choose from.
Spell laws for the players to choose from, and that's going to be a bit of an experimentation.
Bit of experimentation, and a lot of versatility. So yeah, so it definitely sounds like they're doing something special there, like maybe similar to what Kairos has got, where he's going to be able to, you know, mix it up. But this guy, is his name Vasil? Isn't it? says Todor Nikolov, game director. Then there's Stoyan.
I'm Stoyan. I am currently the art director and concept lead for the Warhammer.
Stoyan Stoyanov. And Vasil Nikolov. Yeah, I got it right. It's Vasil. Yeah, I was gonna say Vasil. I feel like Vasil's a bit of a politician. Whenever it comes time for him to say something, he's always a little bit like, you know, he's kind of covering all his bases. He's not giving away too much. Bearded Swede 1 and Bearded Swede 2. Indeed. I don't think they're Swedes, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I feel like there's a bunch of stuff that I forgot about in here, but
on Total War Troy, and even before that on the DLCs for Rome 2. And over here is
could see them building off Goldfag's merc system. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's where like great minds think alike.
Previously, I was the art director for Troy, Mythos, and Far.
Aren't they from Bulgaria or Eastern Europe? Yeah, I think so.
And with a great passion
Somewhere around there.
for War and Warhammer. My name is Vasil.
So they're from
I'm
Sofia,
leading
wherever that is.
the Tides of Torment DLC, and I've previously spent some time dabbling in.
It's not in Sweden.
This is what's next episode. We're going to be
It is in Bulgaria. Yeah.
that next faction that we've revealed recently in the.
I don't know if I know much about Bulgaria. What was Bulgaria in Medieval 2?
About some of the reworks that we've got going on. There's one we actually missed in our.
I know most of my geography knowledge
and we'll also be talking
is from Medieval 2.
Work goes into bringing it to life. But Todor, let's give you the first question and the first honor, of course. Who is that next faction and next faction leader we'll bring into the game?
thank you for the honor.
Northern Byzantium.
And the race both are very dear to my own heart because I'm a fan of those hardy people in the north that live right on the edge of the chaotic.
I'm a fan of the hardy people. Why don't you make some hardy people for us instead of making hardy fucking Fimir?
Yes, we're adding a new legendary lord to the Norskans. His name is Sail the Faithless. He's a powerful spellcaster. Unlike the other legendary lords, he's not one to always lead from the front and try proving.
Bulgaria is straight across from Turkey, excluding Istanbul, north of Greece. Oh yeah, nice.
Manipulating those.
Is that like where the Scythians came from?
Making sure that they believe he's their friend, after which he betrays them. And based on
the Bulgars were a steppe people who invaded the Magyar as Hungary.
This of
Oh,
course
nice.
leads to him slowly
Hungary
getting
had some good
surrounded
heavy
by
cav.
enemies, but you know, this is the price he had to pay.
He's gonna search for power.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like a heap more stuff I wanted to comment on, but I don't know. I didn't want. I wanted to like. I kind of wanted to let them say it all first, rather than me just constantly interrupting in case people are watching it for the first time and they're like, "God mercy, shut the fuck up," so I can watch the video. But yeah, I think that was kind of a mistake because now I forget all the things I wanted to say during it. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard when it's a long, like really long like this. Like if it was like a 5-minute video, I could just let it play and then go back and talk about it for like 2 hours. But with it being such a long video, it's kind of hard to like remember everything that you wanted to say like by the end of it.
Also to an ordinary faction, like he's a Norscan, he can occupy settlements, he can also raise settlements and dedicate them to the various chaos gods. But there is a special feature you will use to plan, execute, and reap the rewards from your treachery.
So you have the rest of the stream thing to discuss? No, I'll probably move on to other stuff.
We explored a kind of a more rework of how diplomacy system works, but this is kind of a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, so he's saying like they were thinking about doing a rework of diplomacy, and then they were like, "Oh fuck that, that'd be stupid," so they didn't do that.
To a live game, and this is why we opted for a specific feature to cover the betrayal part of Sail, which is the major part of it.
Diplomacy is a very prominent legacy feature. It's similar to treacherous waters that we try to navigate very cautiously, as it could bring a lot of fallback after it if something unfortunately breaks or changes too significantly. So we've worked.
I like how I feel like these guys are a lot more. I feel like these guys seem a lot more at ease and confident now than they did in like the previous videos that they were in. Like, they've kind of like settled into their roles now, and they've had a few wins, you know, on different things. They're like kind of like old hands now. They've been hard at work on various Total War things for months now, you know, which I like to see, you know. Less stressed, yeah. Also, but also I feel like, you know, like when we first saw Todor in that video ages ago, it was like he was like the new kid. He was like excited to get in and, you know, get his hands dirty and stuff like that. Now he's like an old veteran, you know. He's like all battle scarred and shit. but still enthusiastic, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like they've they seem like they've settled in a bit more now. Bulgaria is in Ulthuan. Yeah, that's right. It's near Lokhir. Yeah, they did, like, even though they said they're not going to rework, they said they were initially thinking about doing diplomacy stuff for sale, and then they changed their mind. But they did also previously say that they were planning to do some work on diplomacy, perhaps as part of a beta, another beta on the Proving Grounds. So yeah, I'm hoping that they do that. Yeah, I think like controlling armies. Controlling armies. You know, region trading. I feel like definitely needs to look at to make it more, you know, just more realistic. Like, yeah, I feel like the region trading at the moment it isn't very realistic. It doesn't feel like I feel like region trading should be a really important factor in the game, but it should feel like it's hard to explain. It should make sense. Like just say a faction loses their capital. Like just say, this happened in one of my recent games. Karak Kadran, Ungram the Slayer King, he loses his capital to the Greenskins, and then I take that back from him. I take back his capital, and then I sell it back to him or whatever, right? And like, yeah, like I feel like if I retake his capital, or, you know, some land that is like his land, and I give it back to him, he should really value that. And like, you know, if I want him to become my ally after that, then there should be like a massive bonus. He should definitely become my ally and be fucking eternally grateful because I just, you know, erased his shame and gave him back his capital and shit. But like, if it's some other faction that fucking hates your guts, and then you take over some random settlement and build a barracks there, then that shouldn't, then you give that to them, that shouldn't automatically make them into your vassal, you know what I mean? So like, it's hard to, I don't know how you would like exactly fix it, but I don't feel like they should get rid of it at all. Like, I feel like region trading, like conquering regions for other people and selling it to them, or reclaiming regions for your allies, or, you know, if you're losing a war, so you're like, I'll give you one of my regions if you just stop attacking me, like giving, you know, so trading land for peace, or to get you, you know, I'll give you this land if you join with me and attack an enemy. Like, region trading should be in the game. It's a really important part of like historical warfare, and I feel like it works well in the Warhammer context, but the way that it is currently, you know, it doesn't feel very realistic a lot of the time. So, you know, if they could fix it a little bit, it'd be cool. But yeah, like John was saying, I'm super enjoying borrowing armies and interacting with allies, and I think that interacting with allies really is the big thing that Warhammer 3 brings to the table. Like a lot of people like, or some, I don't know, a lot of people, like some people still say that like Warhammer 2 is better than Warhammer 3, primarily because of the aggressiveness of the AI and stuff. But it's like way worse in like heaps of other ways as well. But you know, so it's good in some ways, it's bad in other ways. But one way that like Warhammer 3 is just like, you know, got this extra thing that Warhammer 2 just doesn't have, is in the diplomacy. You know, being able to borrow armies, being able to recruit allied units, like having an elven contingent in your like Empire army, or a dwarven contingent in your Empire army, or whatever. Like, you know, that sort of stuff's just fucking so cool, you know, so cool. And like, I think if there was like one thing that you could pick that was the real game changer for Warhammer 3 that makes it such an advance over Warhammer 2, like that would be it, the diplomacy. So yeah, if they could like polish that up a little bit, make it a little bit better, that would be cool. Has anyone played Warhammer 2 lately? I remember when I did go back to Warhammer 2 after Warhammer 3 first came out, one thing that was really nice about it was that the units were really responsive. Like when you fought the battles, like the units were really like agile and moved, like they responded to your clicks better and stuff like that, it felt like. But then they actually improved the responsiveness of the Warhammer 3 units a lot since then. So I don't know if Warhammer 3 is kind of on par with Warhammer 2 now, or if Warhammer 2 is still a little bit better in that way. But I find Warhammer 3 is like pretty good now. Like I don't play it and think, oh, this feels shit, which is what I felt like. And when I first came from Warhammer 2 to Warhammer 3, it actually kind of felt bad. Moving into siege battle felt way cleaner. Yeah, well, the sieges are totally different now. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't really talking about siege battles. I was just talking about like normal open field battles. Yeah, anyway, yeah, good stuff. But no, is there anything else about it? I'll have a quick look through the comments and stuff. There was a few comments people made that throughout the stream that I was going to comment on, but I forgot. Norsca needed badly, yeah, I agree. I thought they said that the noble will be a lord. The Fimir noble? No, they said it'd be a hero.
Okay. I'm guessing it's not something we can really mocap, is
It's a mocap.
Okay. So what else?
Roster is the Fimir noble. It's an addition to the Fimir family.
Okay, so we've talked about the Nightmare. Then the roster, what else do we have on there?
Another addition to the Norscan roster is the Fimir noble. It's an addition to the Fimir family, which we already have in Warhammer 3. And the Fimir are known to walk in the shadows, to use magic to their advantage, and to surprise their unsuspecting prey. And the noble will be no different. He's going to benefit from that as well. And also, as a hero character, other Fimir present in the game will benefit from his presence in battle in various situations. So they can use him in conjunction with them, but also with other monsters and creatures in the Norscan roster.
Yeah, so yes, the Fimir noble is definitely a hero. But he's going to be like kind of, it sounds like he's going to be a bit of a, probably a melee powerhouse, but also like a buff kind of a guy, buffing other Fimir, buffing other monstrous units and stuff like that around him. So that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I hope there's some more love for the berserkers. I just love the low tier fucking naked berserker gameplay of Norskins. Yeah, like although I get that all the monsters are the big powerful monsters and everything are kind of like the headline things, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to play Norsca just a fucking whole bunch of different monsters and shit. Like that's just, I don't know. I just don't feel like that's really what Norsca should be all about. But yeah, that's just my personal thing. But I think we can all agree on is that it's good to have different playstyles available for each faction. And yet one of the playstyles that I really like with Norsca is, you know, like basically just rushing heaps of berserkers, just heaps of low tier infantry, just having shitloads of them and buffing the crap out of them. And that's so yeah. So hopefully the Fimir buff Norscan berserkers as well as monsters, but I highly doubt it. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. If there was anyone else that made a comment that they wanted me to respond to or whatever, just let me know. Looking into his lore online, it seems like he can throw his rival's teeth to redirect a miscast away from him. Wow. So like if he miscasts, then his teeth will the teeth will make it affect somebody else instead of him. That's pretty cool. Yeah, a couple of people mentioned that they want Norsca to get more economy buildings other than their ports. But I thought that was weird. Like the only reason what I was responding to when people were saying that was the AI being nerfed by not having ports. But I don't think that's really a problem. Like who gives a shit about the minor Norscan factions? Like if they don't have a very good economy and they die, like who gives a shit? They're just minor Norscan factions that only exist to be vassals of other better factions, basically. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone's going to be too worried if the Dolgan or whatever don't, you know, become major powerhouses like some random minor noble Norscan tribe. But as the player, it's really easy to take advantage of the ports giving you massive income. And that's pretty much the identity of the Norscan. Like the other criticism I've heard is that Norsca is too fucking easy now, you know? Like they just get too much money from all their ports. Their economy is too crazy, they're too rich. Like, yeah, so I don't know. I guess there's different points of view about that, but yeah, I don't know if that, like, yeah, a couple of people said I hope they get other economy buildings other than ports. So I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if I addressed what you were saying about that, if you were talking about the AI, but yeah, yeah, if there's something other than what I've said that I'm missing, I don't know. Confederating is fun. Agreed. What's good about a Fimir Noble? Well, we don't know yet. All we know is that they're going to buff other Fimir and they're going to potentially buff other monsters. But yeah. But yeah, nothing about the Fimir really excites me too much. Huge bonus to sacking ports could be interesting. Well, yeah, well, what I'm really hoping is that they get the ability to attack ports from the water. Like, that'd be sweet. They said they might be able to do it. I asked about it a few years ago, a couple of years ago or something, and they said they might be able to do it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can revisit that. I really think Pirate Coast should get that as well, like the ability to attack coastal settlements from the water. That'd be really cool. But there might be some sort of AI problem with it where they can't do it. But yeah, don't know. Anyways, yeah, cool. Well, I was gonna play a bit more. I was gonna play a little bit more Lokhir, but the stream's gone on a little bit longer than I planned for it to go originally. So yeah, I was actually gonna play some Rogue Trader tonight. So yeah, so the Skulls event yesterday, they were announcing there's a new game coming out by Alcat, the guys who make Rogue Trader, and yeah, it's going to be fully voiced. So that was probably my main criticism with Rogue Trader, was just that because it was a lot of it was not voiced. It was really hard streaming it because I have so much reading that I have to do, and I've tried a couple of times with it, but both times I kind of had trouble with the reading. But yeah, so I thought I'll give it another try. Just because there's a new DLC coming out next month, and might be another time, good time to try Rogue Trader out again. Anyway, so if you're interested in that, I will be starting a new stream now with a bit of Rogue Trader. I'll probably come back to the Lokhir campaign, or otherwise we'll go on with the Norsca campaign when we get back to Warhammer. Just don't read. Easy. You get the story from the context. Skip the text. I don't know. I mean, maybe. What my thought was, I'll start the new stream and then we'll talk about it over there. But yeah, if I'll bring up a link for it. So yeah, if you want to jump over to the new stream, I probably won't be reading this chat anymore. So if you want to chat with me, just click that link and go over to the new stream and type it in there. Who reads? Just nerds, exactly. Anyway, yeah, so I'll end the stream and I'll punt you guys over to the new stream in just a second. And I'll just get out of this and boot up Rogue Trader. It should be starting soon. Yeah, once the Rogue Trader boots up, I'll start the stream. Or end this stream and pop it over to the other one.